This is a sweet practice for your hips to create a little bit of heat and to open up along the side body. So begin in a seat, come cross-legged or on your shins, and if you find peace when you close your eyes to quiet the outside world, every moment that isn't this one, all the external distractions around you, so that you can start to develop an intimacy and a connection with what's happening inside. So when you first start to practice, when you first start to develop a practice of any kind, and it can be related to yoga or movement or anything, there's this first little bit. It's a really special part that sometimes we just want to rush through or push through so that we can get to the next level. But when you're just beginning, there's this element of innocence and clarity that's really powerful. So if you're new to this yoga thing or moving your body in this way, and the language seems a little bit new to you, and I'm guiding you into feeling things or moving things that you're not too familiar with, I want you to come in just trying to let go of needing to be perfect, needing for it to be right, needing it to look a certain way. I want you to come in with an element of curiosity, which is a big ask, I know. But what if there wasn't a right way of doing this? What if the right way was the way that helped you feel more connected with your body? And that's it. Because as you start to feel more connected with your body, it's like that opens a doorway for you to become more connected with your mind. And as you become more connected with your mind, you start to become connected with your emotions. And maybe it's not exactly in that order for you, but often it serves to start from the dense, the gross, the flesh and bone, the things that we can see, to then move into deeper, more subtle levels or layers. So I guess all of this is to say is today as we move, no matter where you are in your practice, if you've been doing it for 10 years or for 10 minutes, come in with curiosity. Remember what it feels like to be new at something so that you can come humble, you can come with a blank slate, open palms, no expectations, no need tos, no ought tos, no should haves. Let's connect with the breath. Exhale all the way. Then take a slow, smooth, deep inhalation and just notice where your breath lands in your body, if it moves your belly, if it moves your chest, your shoulders. And then when your breath is ready to pour out, let it go with a sigh. Do that again. Take a really slow, deep breath in, slow enough so that you can notice something about your breath. Its texture, its pace. When you're full, simply switch over to your exhale, let it go. One more time. This time, just give your breath a little retention at full. So inhale, 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 hold at full. As you hold, relax your shoulders, relax your face, lose any intensity. And then just like that, let your breath go. And notice if you can soften around your edges, soften your shoulders, soften your hips. Connect your palms in front of your chest, please. From your seat bones, what's pressing down? Press down more and lift your spine. Like there's a thread attached to your skull and someone's gently pulling and tractioning you skyward. And keep the length in your spine, but then again, soften your shoulders. Relax the top of your neck, the sides of your neck. Humbly bow your chin in towards your chest. And let this be a gesture of acknowledgement, you to you, for showing up to this space, for showing up for yourself. And then gently let your hands fall into your lap, lift your head, open your eyes. And then if you're sitting up onto something, just move it off to the side. Bring your hands behind you so that you could almost lounge back and plant your feet onto the floor, a little bit wider than your hips width distance. Feet flat, knees up, lift your chest, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, let your knees fall over towards the left side. So you can see that my feet are flexed, so the toes curl towards the shin bone. And the spine rotates a little bit here, and you might feel a little bit of an opening across your right thigh, a little twist through the low spine. Come up through center on your next breath in. And then again, as you exhale, wash your knees over towards the right this time. And what you might be feeling, and it's different for everyone, is a little bit of a stretch in your chest, expansion there, rotation through your spine, and then a kind of weird sensation of internal rotation of this front thigh. Usually our hips are rotated the other way, and our body's not super used to this movement, so it might feel a little bit congested, and that's okay. It's totally normal. Come up through center, point your knees up, take a breath in, then we'll move with the breath. I won't talk so much. As you exhale, let your knees fall over towards the left. I got a little crack in the spine, and then come back up as you inhale. And as you exhale, let your knees go over towards the right side. So by moving the hips back and forth this way, the head of your thigh bone stirs into your hip socket and just makes that junction a little bit more mobile. When we sit in one position, or if we do a certain activity over and over and over again, our body's really smart, and it likes to structure the body, the hips, whatever joint we're talking about, in such a way so that it's just kind of held in that position. It's quite efficient. But if we're looking for opening that, if we're looking for mobilizing and creating some space, we got to move it in all of the ways, all of the ranges. And when it comes to the hips, it's kind of like somebody constructed that junction between the leg bone and the hip bones, like when you fix something with duct tape. They kind of just like crisscross hatched it together. So what we're doing here is just slowly, layer by layer, undoing the duct tape and then realigning it a little bit more effectively. Okay, come up through center as you breathe in, chest lifted. As you exhale, wash your knees over towards the right side and then lift up your left arm, stretch it across your chest, keep rotating, and you might even reach all the way back behind you. As you inhale, come back through center, land your left hand back and point your knees up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let your knees fall over towards the left and stretch your right arm across your chest, and you can see the whole spine rotates. Keep reaching, get really long through your arm. Come back through center, right hand lands behind you, feet go flat, knees point up. And then again, as you exhale, wash your knees to the right, stretch your left arm across your chest. Really fluid and graceful now. Once you get the movement, try to soften across your joints like there's water between your joints of your wrists and your elbows and your shoulders, the joints between each backbone. Yeah, and it's really nice to move in this way because not only are we opening up around the hips now, but we're starting to facilitate the communication through our connective tissue. So that's the tissue that connects everything to everything. Our muscles to our bones, our muscles to each other, our organ systems. And you've probably heard that everything is so deeply connected in the body, and it truly is through this matrix, this net, this web of the fascia, of the connective tissue. Okay, so we're gonna let this go. One more per side, bringing your left hand back behind you, pointing your knees up, and then going over to the left, stretching your right arm across. Come back through center, point your knees up. So now we're gonna take deer pose. So what you'll do is you'll take your right shin parallel with the top edge of your mat so that there's a 90-degree, and take your left shin back into a 90-degree as well. Come up onto your fingertips and grip your outer left ribs to help turn your chest a little bit more forward. Get really long through your spine, so think about your butt going more down, your chest lifting more up. So remember that internal rotation that I talked about earlier. Your back leg is doing that motion. So if it feels really weird, it's normal for it to feel really weird. And even if you feel a little bit of a cramp in the top of your hip, that's quite normal. You're utilizing muscles and touching upon them, muscles that haven't really either worked in a long time or are taking on the work of other muscles. So it's going to feel weird. Don't worry about it. Frame out your front knee and your front heel. This is a really great way to open up the hip without putting any tax on the knee. Lift your chest like you're elongating from your hip bones through your sternum, even through your eyes. If you like to look up, breathe in. Then as you exhale, bend your elbows to the left and to the right and like carve your heart forward and down. And again, feel this in your outer hip of the front leg, not so much the knee. Press down and lift on up. Take a breath in. Go again as you exhale, stretch your belly forward, your chest forward, and come on down. Go one more time. Press down and rise up. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly cast yourself forwards and down. And then you can stay or start to crawl your fingertips forward. Come down onto your forearms. If you have a bolster or a couple of blocks or pillows handy, you can prop your forearms up onto them. We're only going to be here for a few breaths. So bring your mind's eye to the outside edge of your right hip. See if you can ask it to soften. Give it a little bit of time. No need to force yourself down towards the ground. It's not a deeper pose if your belly's flat onto your front leg and if your forehead is touching the earth. I think it's a deeper pose if you can find a way to align yourself with the general, principles of the shape, and then find a way to breathe and relax. And of course, it doesn't need to look like anything because we're all going to look a little bit different. For this last breath, soften your belly, really let it go. See if you can give yourself to gravity just a little bit deeper. Nice. And then use your hands to help you back upright. Bring your left hand back behind you, wash your knees up through center, and then we'll just go to the other side. So left shin at 90 degrees towards the top of your mat, right shin parallel with the long edge of your mat. Pick up your hips, come onto your fingertips, pick up your hips. Try to rotate your right ribs more towards your left shin so that your chest is more square. Forwards. Same, your back leg might be like, what the heck? It's okay. Try to relax your inner groins, try to relax your outer thigh. Don't get into protection mode through your conscious mind. Your body will grip on where it wants to grip on, but if you can consciously let go, then your nervous system can start to catch on that you're safe, and then all of that residual holding will start to ease up too. Okay, fingertips frame your front knee and front heel. Elongate, lengthen your chest up, forward, breathe in. Then as you breathe out, cast yourself forwards and down, elbows go left and right. Go again, press down, wave your way up, take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly carve your way down. One more time, press down, rise up, deep breath in. And this time, come on down, elongate your belly, elongate your chest, come on down onto your forearms if you like. You can always stay onto your fingertips. Connect to the outer edge of your left hip, like there was a thread from your mind to that part of your body. Because of course there is your brain, not so much your mind. But relax any holding. Try to enjoy the sensation that's presenting itself here. And as you stay, you start to develop this relationship with the force of gravity. Maybe you soften more. Maybe you feel something that you've never felt before in your front leg or in your back leg or in your hip. Feel into it more. Layer by layer by layer, soften yourself in. Last breath, relax your belly, let it go. Take a full inhale breath. And a clearing, calming. Plug your fingertips, press down, rise up. Wash your knees through center. We're going to come onto hands and knees at the top of your mat. Place your hands, settle the bones of your hands down past your yoga mat, past the ground below your yoga mat. Drop your belly, lift your chest. Take a full breath in. Keep that arch of your spine, tuck your toes, press forward and down with your hands, and let your head relax. Downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, let's all bend the knees a lot today. There's a lot going on in this shape. So let's start at the hands. See if you can, again, soften and spread the palms and the bones of your hands down into the ground. Notice that you're not leaning your weight to the outer edges of your hands. If there was an L between your thumb and your pointer finger, you'd suction, seal it down towards the ground. Notice how that activates your forearms. And from your forearms up into your armpits, can you press and reach? And then find your lower back. And from your lower back and your hip bones, stretch your side waist. It's almost like your spine is being tractioned. And as you stretch your side waist, your shoulders might even come up by your ear, but it's not a function of your neck contracting. It's a function of your spine elongating. Relax your head more. Now keep that space in your spine and slowly, slowly start to anchor your heels down towards the ground. Your hips come a little bit higher. Squeeze the fronts of your thighs to help the backs of your legs open. It's an upside down V. It's a forward bend in the lower body, a back bend in the upper body. Let your head drop. Keep your arms powerful. Step your feet together at the back of your mat. Reach your right heel up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale slowly, come up onto your left tippy toes. This will give you more space. Draw your right thigh into your chest, look forward, and then step your right foot between your thumbs. And if you didn't make it, then just take a couple more steps so that your right foot is between your hands, your left knee sinks down towards the ground. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Rise up through both of your arms as your tailbone anchors down, your heart bone anchors up, and your fingertips stretch up. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, stretch your arms back behind you, palms face the ground, and as you lean your chest forward, float your back knee up off of the ground. Again, sink your left knee down, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, take a full breath in, elongate your waist. And as you exhale, stretch your arms back behind you, float your back knee. One more, back knee down, arms rise up, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly stretch your arms back behind you, back knee lifts. Just for a moment, reach your arms straight forward, keep your back knee lifted, take a full inhale breath. And then as you exhale, hands land down, step back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bring your knees wide and sit your hips back, child's pose. Hips to your heels, arms either reach out of you or stretch back behind you, you choose. Just so that you have a moment to recalibrate and rest. This shape puts most of your joints into a flexed state. And this is a shape, like think about fetal position, that our body is really familiar with. We curl in and find comfort. So really land in that quality right now, despite the effort that you just made and the warmth you just built. Can you softly switch gears now into this state of relaxation and receptivity? Observe as your breath slows down, your heart rate. Good. And then if they're not, your hands forward. Roll forward to your high plank pose. Pick up your knees, firm your thighs, reach the crown of your head forward, and then as you exhale, come on back, downward dog. Take a moment again to bend your knees. Press from the low back through the palms of your hands. The L of your palms suctions down. Head drops heavy. Open your armpits. Keep that and slowly start to stretch your heels down towards the ground. Any amount, they don't have to touch at all. Step your feet together. Reach your left heel up high. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, curl your left knee in towards your chest. Come onto your right tippy toes and place your left foot between your thumbs. Bring your back knee down to the ground. Arms rise up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in. Exhaling, stretch your arms behind you, chest to thighs, back knee lifts. Again, back knee down, arms up, breathe in. Chest to thighs, go slow, back knee lifts. One last time, back knee down, arms go up, deep breath in. Exhaling, stretch back, chest to thighs, back knee lifts, stay. Gather your arms forward, take a breath in. And as you exhale, hands come down, please step back, downward dog. Now from this downward facing dog, crawl your hands towards your feet at the back of your mat. You can bend your knees as much as you need to support your back. And then place your hands onto your shins. And as you press into your hands, straighten your arms, and this will elongate your spine. Take a breath in. Then as you exhale, let that go. Slide your hands down towards the ground, bend your knees, drop your head, forward fold, relax. Do it again. Hands on shins, hips go back, heart goes forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, soften, fold, heavy, heavy. Root into your heels, bend your knees, roll up to stand, stacking your bones over one another. And then once you rise all the way up, just take a moment to stand there. Settle the bones of your feet now into the ground. And then lose any rigidity or hardness or holding so that your body has the opportunity to slouch, sway, ripple, oscillate, wave in the ways that it naturally does. Notice if this gives you a quality of organic embodiment. You get to land in your watery, spherical nature rather than like the hard and fast, yes and no, right and wrong, rigid, linear. All right, slowly open your eyes. I'll face you. You'll plant down into the sole of your right foot. If you need help with balance, just back up to a wall. Use your elbows on the wall to help you with balance. You're going to take tree pose. So, like I just said, settle the bones of your right foot now in towards the ground. You can even look down and just watch how your ankle swivels and quivers. Some of us, our inner ankle starts to cave in. And for some of us, the ankle bone kind of swivels out and we roll to the outside edge of your foot. So just take a moment to settle evenly into all parts of your foot. And if you wiggle one way or another, just know that that's normal. But see if you can course correct. Pick up your left ankle and place it to your upper inner right thigh. If that's a hard no, then you can always place your foot to your inner ankle and it's the exact same pose. Okay, so wall is there for balance. Place your left foot. Press your left foot to your upper right thigh. And now is where you look down at your ankle again and just notice where it carves, squiggles, wiggles. Cool. So as much as you're pressing your foot into your thigh, press your thigh back, relax your left inner groin, and then reach your arms wide and up. Interlace your fingers and press your palms up towards the ceiling. Elongate your side waist and embrace the wiggles. They're a part of it. Stretch your upper buttocks down towards your lower buttocks so that you're not back bending in your lower back. Take one more breath in. And then slowly untangle your fingers, bring your hands to your hips. Step your left foot behind you to the right, cross your legs. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling once again. This time, take hold of your left wrist with your left palm facing the right, side bend over to the right side. Get long through both sides of your waist. Again, try to elongate your lower back. Drag your upper butt towards your lower butt, towards your heels. Get a little bit of space on your inhale. And come over a little bit deeper as you exhale. Slowly unwind, hands come up through center, untangle your legs, bring your hands onto your hips. Look down at your left foot, seal it down. Big toe mound to pinky toe mound to the center point of your heel. And you can just ask yourself, is my big toe mound heavier or my pinky toe mound? Is the front or back of my heel heavier, the inner or the outer? And notice with both feet down, it's easier to adjust. See what happens when you lift up your right leg. Plant the sole of your foot to your inner thigh or inner ankle. Just avoid the knee. And then squeeze the outer edge of your left butt to stabilize the leg bone in the hip socket. Relax your inner right groin so that your knee starts to fall down towards the ground. And you have to keep doing these things. You have to keep adjusting the foot. You have to keep squeezing the outer butt. You have to keep relaxing the thigh. That's the part that keeps you present. And then the arms go out wide. Interlace your fingers, opposite pinky finger out front if you can recall. Press your palms up towards the ceiling, and if you fall, you just simply come back into it. No drama, no judgment, no need. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, keep the side waist length. Bring your hands onto your hips and step your right foot back behind you to the left. So legs are crossing. Arms go up again. Take hold of your right wrist with your left fingertips. Get long, breathe in. Take that space with you up and over to the left side, dragging upper buttocks towards lower buttocks, towards heels. Find a little space as you breathe in. And then give way, soften into that space as you exhale. Nice, come on up, take a breath in, untangle everything, the legs, release your hands down by your sides. Take a full inhale, lift your shoulders. And then as you exhale, settle, soften them down your back. So you can make your way down into your seat, or we'll transition through the yogi squat. So what you do is turn your toes out, sink your hips down between your heels, and then plop onto your bum. Otherwise, come onto your bum and come onto your back. We're going to do something similar, but from our back bodies now. So stretch your left leg long. Take your right knee up into your chest. You can either hold the shin or the back of your right thigh. And then place the sole of your right foot to your inner left thigh. So familiar like tree pose, but a little bit softer now. Take the heel of your right hand up into the junction where your leg meets your hip bone, your frontal hip bone that sticks out. And then press that heel of your hand into that flesh and down so that you get just a little bit of space through the top of your right thigh and your hip bone. Then place your right hand to your upper right thigh without pressing down. Just that little bit of extra weight from your right hand will give you some good gravity. Relax your left leg. You can let your left foot fall out. Could you imagine feeling this relaxed, this held, this soft in this tree pose when you're standing, as you do here while you're supine laying on your back, completely supported by the force of gravity? You're still getting the same opening through the hip, it's just at a different vector. To really enjoy the space in the inner groins, it gets really tight in there. Now, reach your arms up and overhead. Kick your left heel out to the left. Straighten your right leg and hook your right ankle over top of your left ankle. And then walk your left arm over towards the left a bit more. Walk your right arm up and over to meet it. You'll pick up your head, walk your shoulder blades over, and then take hold of your right wrist with your left fingertips. I always have a hard time saying this, but it's called Banana Asana. I don't think technically it's called that, but that's what I've heard. And what it is a really sweet, supported, anchored side bend. When you land here, make sure that your shoulder blades on your upper back are both heavy on the ground. Sometimes people will roll all the way onto their left side, so their shoulder on the right side lifts and even their butt on the right side lifts. I want both butt cheeks down. I want both shoulder blades down. And then what you'll feel for most is a nice elongation in the side body. And the side body could include your side waist from your hip bone to your rib bones. It could include the space between your rib bones. Feel your armpit flesh up into your upper arm on the right side. And then maybe even down into the IT band. So wherever you hold your tension is, of course, where you'll feel this. So scan along your right side waist, leg, arm, armpit. Notice where there's the most amount of holding, tension, resistance. And then take a slow, smooth, deep inhalation as if you could breathe right into that spot in your body. And then kindly exhale your breath and notice what softens. And then undo your wrist. Walk your body back through center, unhook your heels. Keep your right leg straight, draw your left knee up into your chest. Give it a little squeeze. And let your thigh bones sink. Let your upper back and lower back elongate heavier into the ground, and then place the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh now. Take that adjustment, the heel of your left hand right underneath of your left hip bone, press the skin down and away. And then place your left hand to your upper inner left thigh. And even though we're not pushing the leg further down towards the ground, it's almost like if somebody put their hand on your shoulder when you're stressed and then your shoulders settle down your back. Let it be more like a gesture, a reminder to soften through the inner groins by making this contact. Let your belly soften here. Let your jaw slacken too. And then stretch your arms up overhead. Get long through your sideways, kick your right heel out to the right. Straighten your left leg, hook your left heel onto your right ankle. And then walk your upper body up and over towards the right side, any amount, and take hold of your left wrist with your right fingertips. Making sure that both of your hips are grounded, both of your shoulder blades are grounded. Give it a minute just to settle in. It's like every transition that we take, there's a little bit of like an uprising. And then once we settle in again, the body starts to acknowledge that it's safe and held and it can let go. So start to pay attention to where there's tension and holding along your side waist. And it can go from your outer left ankle all the way to your outer left pinky finger. So comb your awareness down the left side of your body until you find it. Actively search your body for tension. And when you find it, kindly ask it to release. Sometimes we'll find it and then we'll judge it. We'll tell it that it's not welcome. We'll start to build this really dense story around it, why it's this way. Instead, let it be seen. When we feel seen, we soften. Ask it to soften. Notice what shifts. Be kind and patient, consistent and persistent. And then again, as if you could feed a breath into that exact spot on your body, breathe in. Softly let your breath go, and maybe with it, even if it's a fraction of that tension, that is not for nothing. Nice. And then unhook your heels, undo your wrists, walk yourself back through center. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a sweet love in. And outstretch yourself for Shavasana. Let your legs go long, let your arms go long. Make any little adjustments that you need to feel comfortable in Shavasana. So if you need an extra layer of clothing, if you need to undo your ponytail, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, do that. And sometimes it's difficult to transition from effort to non-effort. So please take a really deep and full breath in, all the way in, all the way up. And then at the top, hold it like a sweet embrace and squeeze as many of your muscles that you can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze your face, squeeze your butt, squeeze your toes. And then release that effort. Let your whole body soften now. So take that as like a transition. Now you can release the control of the breath. Now you can release the control of your musculature. Now you can release into the heldness that the force of gravity offers us. Let yourself drop, let your bones sink. And give yourself this space and time now to rest and receive. You take as long as you need to feel that sense. That you can keep a hold of the qualities of softness that you may be feeling now. And when you're ready to rise into your day, rise gently, rise sweetly. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.